Thank you, Dr. Dimples. I'm actually the last one of the brother in arms that should still be going on my PhD. So anyway, look, I'd like to thank the Bail staff for organising this symposium this afternoon. I'd like to introduce my topic. It's ageing with spinal cord injury in New Zealand. I would like to acknowledge my supervisors, Professor Philip Sluter, Associate Professor Pauline Barnett, and Dr. Sally Keeling, who have been the three wise people that have guided me on my journey of my doctorate. And it's nice to know that Pauline and Sally are both here today supporting me in this interesting task. I'm attached to the Department of Public Health and General Practice at the University of Otago in Christchurch. Why did I become interested in this topic? Well, I broke my neck playing rugby when I was 15 in 1974. After coming to terms with my injury, I went on to the University of Otago and eventually ended up becoming a registered psychologist. I've moved into health management. I've had my own business doing consultancy work as a psychologist and career counselling. I'm happily married. I've got 2 children, adult children now, thank God. And then back in 2000, I developed some secondary medical complications. Most seriously in 2000, when suddenly I lost 30 to 35% of my movement over about 5 days. This was 26 years after my initial injury. I had neurosurgery in 2002, which stabilised the condition and was successful. I started reading about ageing and spinal cord injury because I wanted to understand what had happened to me. And I quickly realised there was a major issue for spinal cord injured people worldwide. I started a PhD part-time in 2006 in September, and it quickly became obvious that spinal cord injury was once regarded as a stable condition. However, it is now recognised as a dynamic condition that changes over time. The aim of this research study is to redress the information deficit and develop a better understanding of health, living circumstances, and the quality of life of people ageing with spinal cord injury in New Zealand. As far as I know, it's the first study of its type in New Zealand. Just to put it in context, between 2010 and 2050, the number of people 65 and older is expected to double worldwide. It's going to go from 8% to 16% of the world's population. Compared to other OECD countries, New Zealand's population in the older age groups is projected to remain well below that of many other OECD countries. This is largely due to New Zealand's higher fertility rates. In New Zealand, in 2012, 600,000 people were aged 65 or older. This is expected to double by 2036. Taking into account fertility rates and migration, those people 65 and older will make up 25% of the total population by 2050. Worldwide, the number of people with disabilities is growing. Because populations are ageing with older people having a higher risk of disability. It is estimated worldwide that there are between 250 to 500,000 spinal cord injuries per year. Based on the 2006 disability survey, it is estimated in New Zealand that there are 70% of people of the population with a disability, 12% having a physical disability. Back to spinal cord injury. Nicole et al. Summarises it very well in 2003 in his paper. The effects of living with spinal cord injury for many years can incur shoulder deterioration, chronic bladder infections, postural problems. There can be secondary complications from the original lesion, such as post-traumatic cerebral ileia, or as in my case, complications of my original injury. It's pathological issues not related to spinal cord injury. Heart disease, other chronic diseases like cancer. There's degenerative changes associated with aging, joint, sensory, connective tissue problems. And there's environmental factors, such as societal, community and cultural issues. The age that a person has a spinal cord injury can have a major impact on their life expectancy. This is particularly relevant for somebody that has their injury before maturing around the age of 20. However, there are many other factors that need to be taken into consideration, such as treatment and survival effects, genetics. Now I've got all my bets on that one, for me anyway. Completeness and neurological level, tetraplegia versus paraplegia. My own study, what did that involve? It was a mixed methods research approach. It involves 3 phases. Phase 1, the qualitative research study, involved in-depth interviews with 12 spinal cord injured people who were injured 25 years or longer, and longer. They were incredible personal journeys of survival and coping with a spinal cord injury when the long-term implications of spinal cord injury were only starting to be understood. Analysis involved a thematic analysis which was summarised into 9 key themes. Many of the findings supported overseas research relating to ageing with spinal cord injury. What did become clear, there was little knowledge or understanding about the demographic details of people ageing with spinal cord injury in New Zealand. I.e., how many people were there? Their neurological levels, gender, ethnic background, etc. What did come through strongly, though, was that the differences that people perceived between ACC and the Ministry of Health or the Ministry of Social Development. So phase 2. Phase 2 involved establishing a database. To undertake phase 3 of the quantitative research, a database of people ageing with spinal cord injury needed to be created. It was totally unknown how many people there were ageing with spinal cord injury in New Zealand. It was decided to concentrate on people who had sustained a spinal cord injury before the 1st of January 1990. It involved working closely with the New Zealand Spinal Trust, the Auckland Spinal Rehabilitation Unit, and the Burwood Spinal Unit to identify those people. Initially, about 1,200 people were identified on various DHB, Ministry of Health, patient information management systems. And I've got to say, it was bloody hard work trying to put it all together. But with the cooperation of the staff, we did. Phase 3, the quantitative research. What the quantitative? At the beginning of phase 3, it was necessary to recheck the database, removing those who were deceased, or may have moved overseas, or did not have an own address. The number of people sent letters requesting consent to be contacted was just over 1,000. The national survey was developed and administered in 2011. People completed the questionnaire through a secure website or manually and returned it by post. socio-demographic and injury profile of people aging with spinal cord injury in New Zealand. What are their employment, living status, health and disability, physical activity, and social support characteristics of people aging with spinal cord injury in New Zealand? To explore the relationship of these characteristics with the time since occurring the original injury. To explore the differences between those people aging with spinal cord injury who receive support from Ministry Health and ACC. Where possible, comparison was made with information from the Ministry of Massey University's 2006 Health, Work and Retirement Study and information from the 2006 census. The results. We received 284 completed questionnaires out of a possible 906 people. That gave a response rate of 31%. Overall, the respondents were found to be an approximate representation of the New Zealand population living with spinal cord injury before January 1990. 79% were male, which is a pretty standard figure, bounded around in the spinal cord injury research literature. It's usually around about 80% male, 20% female. Mean age response of the respondents was 57 years, with 84% being European, 61% were in a marriage, de facto or a civil union relationship. There was a higher percentage of Europeans and fewer Maori compared to the 2006 census data. Injury type and cause. Mean age with mean injured was 25.7 years. Mean time living with a spinal cord injury was 31.7 years. Respondents classified themselves as being 35% tetraplegic, 40% paraplegic, and 25% walking. Motor vehicle and motorbike accidents made up 60% of the total accidents. Only 4% of people indicated that spinal cord injury was caused by a medical condition. I missed the slide. Employment and income. 35% indicated that they were employed full-time or part-time, including self-employment. 38% were receiving ACC, 9% were on a government or invalid's benefit, 19% were retired or not working. 61% indicated their annual income was $40,000 or less per annum. The mean income in June 2011 was just over $40,000. Regarding occupation, 58% did not respond either because they chose not to or did not have an occupation. Of the 119 people who did indicate they had their occupation, 45% worked as professionals, 21% were managers, and 14% were technicians or trade workers. This is classified using a classification that is used by the Department of Statistics in Australia and New Zealand. Funding for care and equipment. Sorry about that. I'm going to have a fight with the microphone. Sorry. Of the 251 people that responded, 63% received financial support from ACC for care and equipment, with 26% receiving similar support from the Ministry of Health or the Ministry of Social Development. 4% of people received funding from both ACC and Ministry of Health or the MSD. How this comes about is somebody can be receiving support from the Ministry of Health and then they have an accident and qualify for ACC, or can be on the unemployed benefit and receive financial support for ACC for care and equipment. Standard of living. In relation to rating standard of living, tetraplegics were almost 4 times and paraplegics 2 times more likely to rate standard of living high or fairly high compared to spinal cord injured people who indicated they were walking. Those who were in a relationship were twice as likely to rate standard of living high or fairly high compared to those not in a relationship. People in a relationship were almost twice as likely to consider their income as more than enough or enough to meet their needs compared to those people not in a relationship. Females were 50% less likely to consider their income more than enough or enough to meet their needs compared to males. Similar results have actually been found in the literature on ageing with spinal cord injury overseas. I can quote 3 studies if necessary at the end. Time since injury, regardless of age, at the time of injury, and whether respondents received support from the Ministry of Health and ACC, were not significantly related to rated standard of living, satisfaction with standard of living, and income meeting current needs. People were maintaining good social support networks and community involvement when compared to similar age groups of able-bodied people. In general terms, marital status, income, and living status were similar to the health work and retirement sample and the 2006 census data. Five most common health problems were high blood pressure, hypertension, arthritis and rheumatism, kidney or urinary tract conditions, hearing impairment and bowel disorders. The large majority were not current smokers, with a considerable number having given up smoking. The majority of respondents reported doing some exercise, with a considerable number indicating that they undertook regular exercise. Tetraplegics, or those people aged 65 and older, were more likely not to be exercising. Conclusions. A database of ageing spinal cord injured people now exists for people who were injured before the 1st of January 1990. We have basic demographic information about the ageing people with spinal cord injury in New Zealand. To establish the differences between those people receiving support from the Ministry of Health and ACC was found to be often not significant or complex, with some people receiving funding from more than one source. Maybe this was because of the length of time living with spinal cord injury, that the differences have become blurred over time. It's important to remember that 16% of the sample were on superannuation, or simply maybe I just didn't ask the right questions to establish that. I'm not quite sure. Many of the results support overseas research on ageing with spinal cord injury, except time since injury was not found to be an influencing factor. The research supports the concept of the disability paradox and issues associated with individual life course. The disability paradox is when people with serious disabilities often rate their subjective quality of life higher than what would be expected. Life course, as individuals, we all have individual life courses. As we age, with its changes, its ups and downs, and whether we have a disability or not, it's part of the human condition that we all face physical, functional and environmental changes. As we age, and I reiterate, whether we have a disability or not. With a growing spinal cord injury population getting older, policy decision makers and specialised services will need to be aware of the changing demographic trends and respond appropriately. There is a need to establish and maintain a spinal cord injury register for service delivery, policy planning and future research. And finally, I believe it's important that the research findings be fed back to the spinal cord injury community so that ageing spinal cord injured people themselves are better informed about their own injury. Thank you for listening to me, and I'm open for questions.
First of all, congratulations on finishing the PhD.
Not there yet, Johnny.
I will be able to. I'm really interested in the database work that you did, because I know there'll be a lot of people in the room who there's always been a lot of discussion about establishing a total database for everyone with spinal cord injury in New Zealand. And since you've had an experience and given it a crack, what do you think the main challenges would be, and what do you think the main things to focus on would be if you could wave a magic wand and have the resources to do it?
One thing I actually forgot, I've forgotten one last slide, Johnny, and this might actually help assist your answer. I'd actually like to acknowledge that I received funding from the Health Research Council for this research. Receiving a disability scholarship. I would like to acknowledge Dr. Martin Sutherland, who received the odd phone call late at night in my darkest hours and convinced me to carry on. Thank you, Martin. You've been a great inspiration throughout this PhD. The Bales Peer Sport Group. During 2011, during the earthquakes, they were basically were my only support with my supervisors because my department was decimated. The New Zealand Spinal Trust, the Burwood Spinal Unit and Auckland Spinal Rehabilitation Unit all assisted tremendously in assisting in putting the database together. If it wasn't for their cooperation, there's no way it could have been done. And some of the staff are present here today. I think I don't know if Karen's still here. Karen's here. Karen was key in doing that. Did a tremendous job. It's a matter of working away with the spinal units through the Ministry of Health Patient Management Information System and their own individual databases. The Auckland Spinal Rehabilitation Unit was interesting because they had about 3 different separate databases. One was handwritten that went right back into the early 60s. And so we piled through all these handwritten registers trying to work out who was alive and who was dead, and yeah, it's just a matter of plodding through all those. And a lot of, thankfully, a lot of those people had a bit of cultural history and could actually rule out, yeah, that person was dead. But we done a check by going on the Ministry of Health Patient Information System and checking. But the Patient Management Information System is only as good as the last time the person was in contact with a hospital. And that's one of my limitations of the research. How accurate or how many more people we could have been able to contact, I don't quite know. But yeah, it is possible. I would like to think with appropriate ethical approval that the database is now in existence could be actually fed into any spinal cord injury register.